We're all about Southampton, but for how much longer will City Red be a part of First, or Southampton generally, by First Bus? I'm Andmore Central on the Andmore Bus Videos channel with our newly transferred OMSI 2 and Simulation Section series. And in this video, we are going to be sampling the very brand new, newly released City Red for Southampton Streetdeck repaint pack, replicating the ex-Leeds Streetdecks that Southampton gained not so long ago, and discussing the closure of the same Southampton City Red operation that these deckers were transferred down for. So in this video, that's what we're going to do, and as you will see, we are in Southampton bus station. It's eerily quiet in the bus station at the moment. That's a car. So we're going to get the bus started up because it is eerily quiet. And we're on stand E, so we are going to be driving the 7 service today to Skippingdale Retail Park. And just like I would expect with one of these SL16352 Streetdecks, it's like a Christmas tree when we set it up, so just give it a bit of a rev. All the engine check lights and everything's on. There we go. Just get rid of them. So I'm still working on the introduction, as you can tell, trialing a few different things. Thought it'd be quite cool to start off with a different style introduction. Because it is, I saw this repaint and I thought to myself, well, it's got to be done. It's a recently released repaint. I haven't seen any repaints for this, replicating the buses that were transferred before. So why are you just? There we go. Retail, clearly the right blinds, so we'll pull it forward so people aren't walking through the railings, even though in this game they are clearly capable of that. And yes, that's us on the 7-2 Skippingdale Retail Park. Something I must say is the blinds on the street deck. We have driven the 35 route with the street deck as well before. The blinds do look absolutely phenomenal, that must be said. Something else I do like about the Southampton livery were the sort of grey lines on the side. For sort of most liveries on the street decks, they've kind of just gone with a basic livery around the side, not really bothered with that much of the bodywork. However, Southampton being, well, Southampton, have sort of added these grey lines on the front, and I just think with the livery and everything, they just look really like, it's something very subtle, but they do look very striking, and it is quite nice. So how long have we got till we depart? We've got a couple of seconds. So I think, judging by that clock moving around, we will make a move, because anybody that wanted to be here is here now. If not, these 7s are pretty frequent anyway. Yeah, I probably should have taken the wider exit on there. Thought I'd save a couple of seconds and then make my life a lot trickier. So yes, it has been announced that in February 2023 the City Red brand will cease to exist as Southampton Depot Empress Road closes. Now, unlike other recent closures, sales, stuff like that, this isn't something like the company's going to administration. It isn't a buyout. It is just literally First Bus quitting Southampton in the way that they quit a couple of operations at the start of the previous decade. So they did close Southampton in a similar fashion. In fairness, if they'd have sold Southampton a couple of years previous, the Stagecoach probably could have made quite a bit of money off that. But instead, Stagecoach, with their heavy competition, ran first Northampton into the ground, and then they just closed the operation as near the end they only had 3 bus services that they were running. I think it was the 2, the 4 and the 4A. So that's why they closed Northampton, as it was pretty small operation when they finished, bearing in mind that they bought the city transport operation after deregulation. So yeah, Southampton is a similar thing. They are just closing the operation, and there's no buyout, there's no sort of go ahead of buying it. However, Go South Coast with the Blue Star brand have said that they are going to step in from February and with an expanded network of services to cover areas that only First used to serve, as well as upping the frequencies on their services that were in direct competition with First Bus. So it will mean that basically for customers there's very, very little difference, and most of these services and vital links are going to be sustained. So that's the plan. Well, I need to break to look away from the screen for a second. Why is everybody walking out in front of me today? What's the crap? There we go, let's keep going without people walking in front of me. Goodness. Scunthorpe, in fairness, I was in Scunthorpe quite recently. I am hoping to make another visit as well very soon. But I was in Scunthorpe quite recently, and it is a quite nice town all in all. Got to say, it surprised me quite how nice the Wetherspoons is. It was quite a pleasant surprise, should I say. So yeah, it was quite sort of it's partially surprising, but partially not, that they were getting rid of Southampton Depot. And First Bus in Southampton has been in decline for quite a number of years, and they've had severe competition from Go Ahead Group down there with Blue Star expanding their services that compete against First. So it comes as no surprise that they've closed it on that element. However, you could then sort of contradict that with the idea that these vehicles arrived, the deckers from Leeds, and they wanted to bring double deckers back. Now, it was sort of this mixed bag of things. Southampton have wanted to sort of reinstate deckers and have had a couple of different trials and vehicles on loan over the past few years, and they had the B70 Geminis before they got scrapped. They went on loan. I think they've had the odd B9 as well, or odd Tridents and random stuff like that. So the Streetdecks arriving pretty much about a year ago, it's that, were the first double-deckers that were Southampton's own for quite a number of years, and took quite a while to enter service. They had quite a number of £1,000s worth spent on them rebuilding their engines, and that doesn't surprise in any shape or form because they are the SL16 batch of Streetdecks and notoriously the best at First West Yorkshire. And then they got all the branding done on them. They got a nice livery, nice vinyls, and got pressed out into service. Now I know that one of them, I believe it might be this particular one, 35209, that was burnt down to a crisp. It might be this one. Please let me know in the comments below, because you all know it better than I do. But I believe it was either this one or 12 that got burnt down to a crisp at Southampton quite recently. They were doing sort of air show shuttles, and it was running back to pick up some more people, and decided to just set itself on fire. So snapping, they only had about 3 of these left. I mean, it was also quite a shame because it spent a lot of money on getting them sorted, so that they actually worked. It has been a while since I've driven the 7. It's quite odd because for Scunthorpe now I have sort of this this relevance of going, I haven't driven the route for a while, but I have actually been down this road recently. But it's not like going on the road in game, it's going down the road in real life. It's quite an odd thing to get my head around. Stop walking out in front of me! You did not have right of way at that crossing. Oh my goodness, it's like people around here just walk out in front of the road like it's nothing. So it is a shame to obviously see the Southampton brand goes again. First bought out the city transport kind of thing after deregulation. There was Southampton City Bus, and then kept sort of the City Reds brand and things like that in more recent years. And they did spend quite a bit of money trying to get the route back up to scratch and fight the competition, but unfortunately it just wasn't working. The issue that you've got is at this point Go South Coast have such a monopoly in the area that there's just no hope of competing operators anymore because they've run that much of the monopoly. So it's unsure at the moment what's going to properly happen to the vehicles that are there. Presumably these street lights will be used somewhere on the south coast to upgrade older vehicles, whatever's left. These street decks will presumably end up either next door with sort of Gosport, that end, or they'll presumably end up somewhere like Norwich that's expanding their street decks to get rid of the B7s and Tridents that they still have in service. It is also looking incredibly likely that it will be between Huddersfield and Eastern Counties as to who will have the last B7s on fleet. This is quite funny because Eastern Counties are the ones that I got from Bradford. They didn't so long ago repaint them all and make them look quite nice, and now they're having to get withdrawn. Didn't want to hit the bus stop. I always remember that on this map, as much as it's nice, the bus stop flags are always within wing mirror hitting distance. So I prefer it if I don't hit them with the wing mirror. Fairness, so it is quite nice to sort of drive these Scunthorpe locals. I do need to do the 1-on-1A at some point in this game on the map, because I haven't done it yet, and I know that the 1A also operates nights, because quite recently I was in Scunthorpe on an evening and I saw it. I found it just quite incredible that even though the number of darts within the East Midlands fleet is currently dwindling, they were quite adamant about still using darts on the evening shift. So they've not got many left, and Scunthorpe has gained a couple from Gainsborough, who have pretty much got one left now, replaced them with the 300s. So that basically, in the long run, darts will be leaving the East Midlands fleet. At Scunthorpe, the priority is to replace the B7 Vikings at the moment. That's why they've got a couple of extra darts from Gainsborough in order to not have a vehicle shortage, as the B7 Vikings have dropped in numbers incredibly quickly. It's gone from having about 10 to 15 of them in service, and they now have 3. So I'm 3 at the time of filming, just like the rest of my videos on the First West Yorkshire buses. That will now be one of them on the Handball Central channel. Will now be out of date because it's suggested that 66748 and 69206 were the last 2 left, and they've in fact also now been withdrawn for scrap. So there are now no more Euro 3 Eclipse single deckers in service with First in Halifax at the time that I filmed this. I wonder how early we are. Oh my goodness, we're 6 minutes early. Oops. Oops. We'll just make it to terminus and reflect on what we've done. Oops. Oh, let's slow it down actually slightly. That's a bit fast even for me around here. Just got lucky with the roads, I'd say. Just got really, really lucky with the roads, really nice and quiet. Got lucky with the bus stops because no one's got on the bus. All in fairness, on this map though, you never really get anybody jumping on the outbounds. I've never really had it. So I think the last time I did this route, I think we ended up arriving at the retail park empty as well. Oh, he slowed right down, and we narrowly missed going into the back of it. So that was good. Good that we missed it rather than actually going into the back of it. Oh, let's take the indicator off as well. Yep, and here we are at the retail park. And an issue that buses tend to have with these car-centric retail parks now is you look at where this bus is turning around and where it stops in relation to the retail park. And you look and you kind of think, how is this going to be attractive for customers? Because none of these people are walking behind the bus. Because you've got to think, if you're sort of, oh, let's go to the retail park, and you've got to trek ages to get your method of public transport and to and fro the retail park with your shopping, and you have the option to get a car, you're just going to get on the car. You're just going to, that's the bus stop. I'm that busy talking. I forgot where the bus stop was. Oops. Oops, there we go. What an ending. I'm just going to pull it in a bit better. There we go. So yeah, that was a slightly overshooting stop because the green, as you could see, quite nicely blends in with the trees and the shrubbery and the ground. So on this map, they can be quite easy to miss. But that was the 7. And as I was saying, with this, your retail park, all your places are over there, even like it is in real life, minus the road markings in the car park. And then people have to walk all the way around with something like from Halford to every good stuff. Walk round or a massive carpet, walk round to the bus stop to get the bus. And then there's no shelter, so they're waiting in the cold for ages. And you kind of think and realise, hang on a sec, that's why nobody's getting the bus, because it's that unattractive in situations like this. I mean, for example, Parkgate Shopping Centre in Rotherham. The tram train terminates at Parkgate Shopping Centre, and Parkgate Shopping Centre is quite popular. And it was very, very exciting in the media when it terminated there, because they were like, oh, that's brilliant, that's ace, it's going to serve there now. What they didn't tell you is that the tram train stops at the back of the retail park. Yeah, no, not the front bit where all the shops are and all the car parks are. No, what you've got to do is you take your shopping, you then walk to the back of all the buildings where all the service vehicles are and all the delivery trucks are trundling up and down, and all of the warehouse staff are sorting out like deliveries. You have to walk behind all of that, have to trek all the way around the back of the retail park to get to the tram train, and vice versa when you jump off. So it's an odd one. It is a strange one, but hey ho, each their own. But anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this video. It was actually, this repaint very, very nice. Do highly recommend downloading it. It's created by Lord Warspite, I think it is, Lord Warspite, and it has been released rather recently. At the time of filming, it'll be a little bit older once the video is released. And it's one I do recommend, whether you are one of these that likes to drive buses related to recent news headlines, i.e. The closure for Southampton in February, or you're someone that likes driving buses from the South Coast, Hello Games UK, this might be the replay for you, or you're someone from West Yorkshire and Leeds and remember these buses, remember going on them like I do, and think it's quite nice to have a little drive of one in the repaints that they're currently in. Pending the fact that this wasn't the one that got burnt down to a crisp, but I'm quite certain it was. So if you have enjoyed this video, do be sure to click that like button so that more people can find it and enjoy like you have. And if you haven't already, do be sure to subscribe to the And More Bus Videos channel for more content like this, and from the simulation section where I talk about the bus industry and drive something in relation to what's happening in the media, as well as an archive of over 4,500 backseat and engine focus videos from the past and present. There's a lot of archive stuff there, good buses from sort of that are still going around now, and many very, very nice vehicles that have since been withdrawn and scrapped, especially now with all the withdrawals of the first bus stuff like the B7s, and there's a lot of videos from them that are worth watching if you want to reminisce over vehicles that have now since been withdrawn. So do also go and check out the And More Central channel for more sort of content from the real life bus industry, where I do my bus route reviews, brand reviews, company reviews, interviews, talking buses, news, all of that lot, and lots more exciting shows and new series launching in the new year. So do go and subscribe to that channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on any exciting content on there too. Once again though, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next video, mate. Goodbye for now. Bye.